Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to MandoLessons Live. I'm your host, Baron Collins Hill. Great to see people. I'm going to turn off the little blooping sound that I'm hearing. Great to see so many folks in the chat. Let's see who we got. Dan in Riverside, as always. Stuart, cold and dark Edinburgh. Jim in Savannah. Rick, Michigan. Ryan, Ottawa. Edward, Slow, Connie, Washington, Northeastern Washington. Tom, Bellingham. Lots of Washington today. Great to see it. Robert, somewhere in Wisconsin. James, Tacoma. Sherry, BC. Vancouver Island. Joe, Costa Mesa. RYC, freezing in Dundee. That rhymes. Patrick, Alaska. Very, very fun. Mason, good to see you here. Patrick, Woody, Alan, Neil. I could sit here and say names all day, but let's get some picking. We got James, Ursanos, Robert, Charles, Betsy, Joel, Sal, Sheldon, Peter. Amazing. Great to see you all here. Hey, we got Peter in Hillsborough. Howdy, neighbor. Let's see. So, if you're new here, the way these work is it is a hour of Q&A. So if you've got questions, I can try to have some answers. No questions too simple. No questions too advanced. Throw them all out there. Music related, mandolin related, whatever you want to talk about. All good on my end. Hope you're all having a great day. It is currently a little cold, but about to get hot day here in Oregon. Yesterday was mid to high 60s, which was a little unnerving, but also pleasant in its own way. It was my birthday yesterday, so I just wandered around in the sun all day and had a great time. Let's see. Ursana says, feeling accomplished today because I actually seem to be getting a handle on Cherokee Shuffle with its crooked B part. Great tune. Glad you're getting it under your fingers. Even had a random person like my SoundCloud posting. Very fun. Yeah, SoundCloud is great. I used to have some stuff up. Maybe I still do have stuff up on SoundCloud, but haven't been there in a while anyway. Just trying to catch up, make sure I'm not missing any. David from the Bluegrass State. Good to have you here. So, if this is your first time here, let me know in the chat. Let me know how long everybody's been playing mandolin. I'll try to keep up with the chat as much as possible. Throw your questions out there. If you got tune requests you want to hear, I'm happy to give it a shot. I only do uncopyrighted stuff, so public domain. It's also kind of the only kind of music I know how to play, so that works out well. James says, got to see transatlantic sessions the other evening. Sarah Jaros as a guest. Very nice. I love Sarah. Got to hear that fine octave mandolin. Does she have a Brock? Yeah, that thing is. I must have heard it in person, but not in years. Yeah, Sarah's amazing. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, everyone. James has a great question. Nothing like starting off your morning with talking about metronomes. So, James asks, wondering if you have any tips on metronome use or exercises. Do I ever? Well, my first tip is use one. Figuring out a way. Metronomes kind of have a reputation of being really boring, and they can be, but there's ways to have fun with a metronome too. And if you can figure out some way to have fun with the metronome, it's going to do you very well. So, I tend to use metronomes really slowly. Currently got it on 60 beats per minute. First off, can you just like play a tune that slow? Let's do it. So that's one thing, like really using the metronome. As metronomes get slower, they get a little kind of harder to play with because there's so much space. You can play through a tune at what feels like a comfortable speed, and it'll sound great. And then you try to slow it down, and any little inconsistencies in either your pick direction or maybe you just like are a little fuzzy on what note exactly happens. So you can kind of gloss over those issues when you're playing up to speed, but slowing down is something I really recommend. Another thing you can do is metronome is a very sterile sound. It's a click. There's no swing to it. But see if you can make the metronome swing. Let's see. Try to have enough swing in your playing and leave space for the metronome, and really see if you can sort of get the metronome to swing. I was watching. I wish I could think of how to get people to find it, but I was watching something of somebody playing along with the metronome the other day, and it just like the way that the person was playing made it sound like the metronome was just like the grooviest thing ever. And that's a real talent, because if you can make a totally sterile beat click track sound amazing, that's the sign of a good musician. So play around with it. Try to find a way to have fun with the metronome. It's going to sound like the metronome's throwing you off, and it's because it is, but it's not because the metronome is inconsistent. Unless you got one of those old school metronomes that takes batteries. I just use an app. There's a bunch of free apps. I use one called Metro Timer. But it doesn't really matter what the app is. Anyway, yeah. Play around with the metronome. Only good can come from it. Alright, Connie's got a birthday coming up on Monday. Happy early birthday. Cool, Anne of All Trades. Arsenaut says, Anne of All Trades posted a video where she does a setup of an old cheap octave mandolin to make it sound great again. Awesome. I don't know Anne of All Trades, but I'll have to check it out. Let's see. Sometimes the A part has a double stop ending. Where do you go through both endings? Do you still repeat the A? I don't know what tune we're talking. Oh wait. What tune are you talking about here, Dan? On the double stop ending? I might have missed it earlier in the chat. Do you still repeat the A all again? Sometimes the A part is yeah, if you can let me know what tune you're talking about, I'm happy to try to dive into that. John says, trying to learn your version of Multnomah March, but I'm having trouble with how to feel the beat. Can you offer any insights? It's honestly been a long time since I've thought about that tune. I learned, so that's a tune. There's a video of Owen Marshall, good friend of mine, amazing dadgad guitar player and bouzouki player in Portland, Maine. He taught me that tune years ago, and there's a video of us playing it. I can't honestly even remember how the tune goes right now. I remember it's got like a... I would say, figuring out the swing is definitely an important thing to rhyme again. Yeah, and like the feel of the beat. I would say the first thing to do is learn that you got to get the notes under your fingers, so figure out the melody. Maybe you've already done that. And then I would say maybe forget the melody and maybe play along with that recording and see if you can just... Whatever that kind of feel is, it's got a kind of march feel. If I'm thinking about the right tune, just try to like get the feel into your right hand and don't worry about the left hand. Learn the melody, then don't worry about the melody, and just play rhythm with your right hand. Whatever it may be. And that sort of getting that feel into your right hand and then putting the melody back in will be helpful. I know I'm way behind on the chat already. This is great. Neil says, just following a lesson by Marla, accompaniment to Irish tunes and melding the melody within the structure of the chords. Yeah, Marla is amazing at that, and that's a really fun thing to work on with Irish music. I feel like playing Cold Frosty Morning. Do I ever? Oh, and I also got some super chats here from Denise and Uncle Bobby. Thank you so much. And I got a birthday super chat. 2 of them. The Coffee and Cake Fund from Uncle Bobby. Thank you. Thank you both for the very kind support and happy wishes. Cold Frosty Morning. Awesome. Love that tune. Been working on that with a student of mine. Yeah, so quick little plug. I've been doing some some in-person, not second strike. Third, let's give this a third try. I have been doing some one-on-one lessons. If anyone's interested, there's a link in the description. Don't do it very often. I'm only doing it through the end of March, just because I have a couple months that are a little more open than normal. Usually the website and the rest of life takes up more of my time than I'm unable to do one-on-one lessons. But if you're interested, there's links in the description, lessonface.com//MandoLessons. If you see a slot over there you're interested in, I'm doing, mandolin family instruments, a little bit of banjo, tenor banjo, kind of anything you see behind me that you want to learn. Go check it out. Thanks for all the continued birthday wishes. At what position on the neck do you start using your pinky finger? Good question. I would say first position, but only on the E string. In general, in folk music, like the general rule of thumb, rule of fingers is each finger gets 2 frets. So you get pointer finger, 2nd fret, middle finger, 4th fret, ring finger, 5th fret, pinky, 7th fret. And so your pointer finger is kind of taking over 1st and 2nd, middle is taking 3rd and 4th, ring 5th and 6th, and your pinky is the 7th fret. But it's also 7th fret on the G string is the same as the open D string, 7 on the D, same as the open A, 7 on the A, same as the open E. So that sort of means you don't have to use your pinky finger until you get to the 7th fret on the E string. So you get a tune like Blackberry Blossom, and you get so you do end up using your pinky, and sometimes if you want particular sounds, like maybe you want that sound, 7th fret on the A string, 4th on the E string, whatever that is, an E, a part of it, like a little E double stop, you're using your pinky. So it does pop up, but definitely you can do a lot without your pinky in general kind of folk music. Once you get into kind of closed position scales of like an A, like get your out of focus here. Come on, camera. There we go. 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th with your pinky. 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7. Once you get into that sort of closed position scales, that really starts getting your pinky moving more. Speaking of metronomes, from Ryan, I've noticed that the timing of the notes isn't quite consistent. Notes 2 and 3 are closer together than 1 and 2. Is that standard, or is it all about feel? Yeah, so in general, if you slow something down enough, you're gonna start hearing kind of note value inconsistencies. So that just sort of becomes swing and feel. Yeah, because like, if you play if you play everything with like the same note value, rhythmic value, it can sound kind of like you're a metronome or a computer, where like if you play as a Fisher's hornpipe, or you play or in kind of in jigs, versus what is making those things kind of groove differently and feel different and have different swing is kind of micro rhythms of differentiation. So it's definitely something to think about, and that's a lot with like jigs. A lot of that comes from that right hand pick direction of down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Because in order to kind of get that double down, it's got a little bit of a hiccup to it, but it also makes your kind of all your pick directions go in the right way, and it kind of builds in that swing. Versus if you play down up, it can sound a little more smooth and kind of robotic. And to me, it feels very awkward. All right. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much to Edward and Neil as well for the super chats. Really appreciate it. And more birthday super chats. Love it. Thank you so much. Very, very kind and generous. Rick says 60 degrees and sunny would be a great birthday present. Yeah. I spent all day outside pretty much yesterday and got too hot at times. Coming from Maine, I'm not used to mid-60s and in February on my birthday. Oh, Edward also... Oh, nice. Yeah, so Edward said, happy birthday from a fellow Februarian. Oh, that's a hard one for me to say, but... Happy, well, either, I guess I don't know exactly when your birthday is, but happy early, late, or birthday to you, Edward. And thanks for the super chat. Yeah, James says there's a video of Carole King playing with the metronome. She says you have to make it sound like the metronome is grooving. Oh, yeah, sorry, Carole K. I knew who you meant, and I just read it and knew. But, yeah, Carole K. Excellent. Thank you, Susan. Oh, thank you, James and Joe, also for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Cool. I gotta look up this Anne of all trades. Sounds like right up my alley. Yeah, I love Carole K. If anyone hasn't seen what is the? I'm like, there's so many documentaries. The first one that's popping into my mind is Standing in the Shadows of Motown, but that's Jamerson on bass. What's the other one? The West Coast one. The Wrecking Crew. That's got some good Carole K moments. All right, James is gearing up to do a luthier course this year. Okay, you're getting to it. You got it delayed from last year. The ultimate tenor guitar. All right. I would love to hear that thing. I've got all kinds of crazy schemes about tenor guitars. All right, Sheldon, happy belated birthday to you too. Thank you very much for the well wishes. Yeah, I'm doing, if people want to learn tenor guitar, on my one-on-one lessons, I am happy to do that. How about its tune on the Cittern from John with a super chat? Can't say no to that. Ooh, I'm rhyming all over the place today, and it's kind of freaking me out. But yeah, I'll do a little Citterning. Just have to be in tune enough for the time being. a tune. What did I start? I started with something and then switched. The Bruckless Drowning. And then Anthony Frawley's. Both great tunes. Irish jigs. They're both supposed to be in G, so I would have normally done that with a capo on the 5th fret to be in the right key. But there's a little bit of Cittern. Thanks for the request, John. Uncle Bobby says, are you doing... Oh, yes. Yeah, I am doing tenor guitar lessons, bouzouki, Cittern, whatever you want to learn. If I know how to play it, I'm happy to try to teach it. Dennis says, been playing a little over a month and have gone through all your big inner video... Oh, all the beginner videos. I love autocorrect. And have learned the basic melody of about 4 songs. What lesson or video should I focus on now? I get this question all the time. What I would recommend is get into the fiddle tunes section of my website. You can go through, you can sort them by beginner, intermediate, advanced if you want, or you can just start listening to a bunch. You can go to my Bandcamp page, mandolessons.bandcamp.com, is that right? Yeah. Where I have all the play-along tracks, and you can just listen through there. Find a tune that you like the sound of that really fires you up and try to learn it. If you want, you can sort it by beginner, intermediate, advanced, but in general, 90% of the tunes on my website, I would say, are accessible. If you got the desire to really get fired up about any particular tune, I bet you can get it. So just go start listening to a bunch of fiddle tunes and start picking out the ones that you like the sound of. And then as you come into questions of pick direction or different techniques on the instrument or whatever it is you might come up with, that's when you go look for that lesson in the technique and fundamentals section. Thank you, Ersonas, for the birthday wishes. You can't have too much cake. Oh yeah, I've had cake multiple days in a row now. I was eating carrot cake, one of my favorites. That hornpipe swing is what I've been trying to ask. I have a hard time. Yeah, so let's think about the right hand with the hornpipe. So... you're just going to be doing this, essentially. Ga-jump, ga-jump, ga-jump. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Ga-up, 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 ga-up. That's the way to get that hornpipe in your right hand. Because it's all that hornpipe feel is really in your right hand. Da-da, da-da, versus kind of that more straight, real sound. You have hornpipe. Get that in your right hand. You'll be off to the races with your hornpipes. Yep, Wrecking Crew. Yeah, so anyone who likes music, Wrecking Crew is awesome. Standing in the Shadows of Motown, also excellent. Also, what's the more recent one? 20 Feet from Stardom. All of those are so good. Ursanos wants to know, or Ursanos' wife wants to know if I also play the ukulele. I do not. I don't know a whole lot about ukuleles. I've owned one once, many years ago, and mostly tried to play it like a banjo. So that might tell you. Yeah, ukulele is definitely a weak spot in my fretted instrument knowledge. What's the tuning on the Cittern? So, it's got a low D. It's also really out of tune, but it takes forever to tune. So low D in. I'll zoom in a little. So low D, but also with an octave pair, like a 12-string guitar. And then this is a G. Also. I'm not helping this. D in octaves, G in octaves, and then D, A, D. So you can think of these 4, leaving the lowest string off. You have G, D, A, D. It's the way a lot of bouzouki players tune. It's also like a mandolin, except with your E string, instead of being an E, G, D, A, E, you have G, D, A, D. So you're taking your E string down to D. So G, D, A, D with a D on the bottom. Certainly takes a while to tune though. Yeah, the lower two courses, the low D and the G, are in octave. Some people will also octavize, I guess that's a word now, this D as well, the middle D. But I think the sound of octave strings is really quite intense to me. So I kind of minimize. I like a little bit of octave, and honestly, on this thing, when playing Irish music, I pretty much never hit the low D string. I like having the low D for some more kind of like epic Scandinavian stuff. Oh, what is it? Kind of have that more epic sound is kind of a more Swedish and Scandinavian thing. So I don't tend to use that low D on Irish music a lot. And honestly, a lot of the time I'm just on D8, the high D-A-D. Heidi says, came in a little late, but do you know how to play banjo? I do. I play clawhammer banjo, so I don't know how to play a lot of three-finger stuff, like kind of Scruggs bluegrass style. Or I would love to learn to play some old-time two-finger banjo, but I don't really know how to do that yet. But I do play clawhammer. Do you have any Cajun favorites? I don't. I love Cajun music, but I mostly just listen to it. But I would love to learn some. Stuart has a great question. Do you have any tips on how to stop finger posting? Like putting a finger on the top of the instrument. When things get fast, I put my free fingers down for support. Maybe you already have a video on it. If I do, I can't remember. I think I probably do, but I kind of lose track. Yeah, let me get a mandolin back here. So, with kind of posting or planting fingers on your right hand. So, in general, what you're going to have to go through is you got to break the habit, which is hard because habits are habits. And so as things speed up, I think maybe the thing to do is start out slow and make sure you've got kind of like the right hand technique that you want while you're playing slow. And as you speed up, you will, like maybe you have a nice kind of loose fist in your right hand. And as you start to speed up, things tense up, and all of a sudden you've got some fingers down on the top of the instrument. What's going to happen is you got to figure out like what your technique wants to be when playing slow, slowly build up speed, and also you need to understand that it's gonna feel and sound sloppy at first. Like, I used to plant really hard behind the bridge with my wrist. I would just kind of clamp down, and then everything would come from my wrist. And I was like, this is really kind of impeding my ability. the sound of the instrument, kind of all of these things are coming together. So time to change up that technique. And so I went to a more kind of floating right hand with just a little brushing behind the bridge. And at first it was just like, oh, this is sloppy, like. Versus. So it's gonna sound and feel sloppy and like you don't really know what to do with your hand. But just stick with it, you know, work with speed mostly. Get to the point where you feel really comfortable with what your right hand technique should be at slow speeds, and then slowly you work with the metronome and slowly push up that speed. Patrick says, do you play with Marla Fibish? You both seem to be big promoters of mandolin and Irish music. I've never actually been in the same room with her. We taught at the late, great David Surrett's March Mandolin Festival this past year. Or, yeah, a year ago. That's the first time I've ever taught with her, unfortunately. It was over Zoom. But I do really hope to pick some tunes with Marla sometime. Gene or John says, what do you think about U-bass? I think they're cool. It's amazing that I'm amazed that you can get such low notes out of such a short scale length. I've never played one really, or at least not for more than 30 seconds. But wow, talk about low pitch in a tiny instrument. Those things are a modern marvel. Name of the first two songs you played on the Cittern again. So the first tune was The Bruckless, Bruckles, Drowning. Or it's also known as The Drowning at Bruckless. I can't remember the whole story, but there was a sailing, shipping accident in, I think, the 1800s? I can't remember exactly what the time frame was, where a bunch of either a ship or a couple ships crashed off the coast of Bruckless in Ireland, and it was sort of like people thought it was witches that had like cursed the ships or the town or something. So that's kind of got a little bit of a sad, dark story behind it. I don't remember all the details. I'm probably getting some of that wrong. And the second tune, Anthony Frawley's. Anthony, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y, Frawley, F-R-A-W-L-E-Y''S was the second tune. And both of them, I played them in D, but they're both in G. Yeah, definitely. James says those low notes are best used sparingly. Sometimes best used sparingly, like the 5-string fiddle. Definitely. If you just kind of are wailing away on that low string, it gets kind of like mushy and sloppy pretty quick. Cool, I'm glad people are enjoying the Cittern. I love that thing. Thank you, Gas Worker, for the super chat. Do you have any... I haven't done... It would be fun to work up like a... So I'll read the question first. Gas Worker says, do you have a mandolin lesson for the Wellerman Shanty? So the Wellerman Shanty is a song that got popular on TikTok like a year or so ago and kind of brought sea shanties into the stratosphere sort of momentarily, but now it just kind of stuck around. So the Wellerman, if you look up the Wellerman, people did some really cool kind of epic modern like all harmony versions of this tune that's extremely beautiful and popular for good reason. It would be fun to make a mandolin. Let's see. I can't I can't do it on the fly. Look up, anyone who's interested in what we're talking about here, look up the Wellerman. And you'll find some videos of people singing it real pretty. It would be fun to do one. It's in the public domain. It's a very old song, so that would be fun. Yeah, Marla does have a, what was it, her dad's, or I can't remember exactly what the story is, but she has this beautiful old mandolin that's been around forever. I can't remember the story off the top of my head. Play us a tune on the bowlback mandolin. I'm playing some Renaissance stuff and wondered if it might sound better on bowlback instrument. Sure, play a little bowlback. It's not very in tune. I'll get it kind of relatively in tune. I might actually just need to... Always fun tuning. More a little right. A little sharp, a little flat. A little sharp, a little flat. That'll have to do. So let's see. Let me get a slightly different pick. The right pick for the instrument's always a tricky thing. Yeah, I really like this thing. I know I don't play it all that much. I don't really know how to hold it. I'm not a bowlback player, so I don't really I haven't really worked on like bowlback technique. So I kind of just muscle my way into like holding it right. So it doesn't feel very comfortable to play. But that's what practice is for. But I like the sound of it. It's very loud. Yeah, and I think bowlbacks. It's kind of hard to find a bowlback that's really in good shape. A lot of the old ones are kind of fall. They were built so lightly. I always put like light or extra light strings on a bowlback. You put heavy gauge strings, it'll just pull it apart. But they're out there. You can definitely find them. Cool. The Longest John's had a huge community recording with it. Awesome. Right, her grandfather's mandolin. He played jazz, taped his set list to the instrument. Hope she kept the set list. Me too. Always fun to see that stuff. Thought that sounded like an excellent concept for an album one day. Yeah, there's some cool albums that have been made, like kind of surrounding particular instruments. I mean, a couple kind of mandolin examples are like the Tone Poems and Tone Poets albums from David Grisman and co, where in Tone Poems is is David and Tony Rice? I can't remember. I think it's David Grisman and Tony Rice playing a bunch of different vintage instruments, and then Tone Poets is a bunch of musicians all playing the same instruments. So like they just kind of passed around two very specific vintage instruments and got a bunch of different people to record with the exact same instruments. There's also The Red Violin by Sam Sweeney. I need to revisit that because that's a cool story to check out. I do have the right belly, for better or for worse. Yeah, I can just kind of, hook it in the in the little shelf there. It definitely helps keep it up. I don't know if I would recommend people getting the gut for the bowl back, but I do definitely have it. Nice. Okay, it is Tony and David for Tone Poems. I haven't listened to that in so long. I should get back to it. Nice. Joe says, I've got an 1891 Washburn new model bowl back in great shape, but the neck is very narrow. Yeah, same on this thing. This is also, this is a Vega, but from around the same period. And I don't even know what the neck is on this thing. I bet it's like an inch. Yeah, just a little bit over an inch. All right, let's start from 2 even. Yeah, it's an inch wide, which is pretty narrow. But you mess around with it, think about technique, and you can probably get used to it. Nice. Glad that album was... Yeah, that's a... David and Tony and Jerry Garcia and the Pizza Tapes. If anyone's not familiar with that, check out the Pizza Tapes. That was my big album. I heard Nickel Creek on their 2000 album, self-titled, and heard Chris Thile playing the mandolin. Was like, I don't know what that instrument is, but I like it. And then kind of found out it was a mandolin and got into it. But the first album that I really liked, did a lot of playing along to and listening to, and kind of the turning point album was definitely Pizza Tapes for me. Hello from Ukraine. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's amazing some of these old instruments, how they hold up. Avi Avatar has a beautiful modern bowlback. Yeah, well, who is that made by? I was just talking to somebody about it. I can't remember. Yep, Katerina Lichtenberg also has a modern bowlback. Sorry, out of tune again. Hey, Alan, good to have you here. Better late than never. Oh, we're getting to the end of the hour, too. Alan says, just been up at my friend's shop in Denmark Street, London. Just picked up a collection of vintage tenor banjos. Very cool. Vegas, Gibsons, etc. If anyone wants a tenor. I want a tenor. Just kidding. I've got... Well, I'm down to 2 tenor banjos. It's been a lot more than that in the past. I guess I have one on the East Coast still. Maybe 2. The tenor banjos are dangerous. They're a lot of fun. They're old. They're usually relatively inexpensive. Hold On We're Strummin's, Sam Bush and David Grisman. Love that album. That was a big one for me too. Elk River Blues. Oh, not off the top of my head. Would love to see those banjos though, Alan. I've mostly got that one back there, the little Vega that I love. Trying to get rid of multiple instruments so they take up space real quick. Thank you, Jean. Nice. I get that. It's funny. I can't see the emojis, so I see pair character bowing down saying thank you, which is always a little confusing at first. I just didn't know what was going on. But the program that I live stream from doesn't show me emojis, so I just see text descriptions of the emojis. Yeah, off to see you once more. That's a big one. All right, well, let's play a little bit of Pay to Ho. Maybe maybe I'll stay on this thing. I'm kind of enjoying it. This is the tune of the week. One of my favorite tunes of all time. And key of D. We'll pass it back and forth a little bit. I'll play the melody, you play the chords, and I'll play the chords, you play the melody. Once I get in tune here. I don't know how to hold this thing while tuning it. Yeah, close enough. Alright, so paid ho. Let's see, so, come on, there we go, focus. How does this go? Let's talk about that speed. 1, 2, key of D, paid ho, here we go. B part. Take it. A2. B. I'll take one. Take it. B. B2. Let's play it together. B. There's a little bit of paid ho on the old bullback. Well, what tune should we play next week, folks? I feel like there was maybe even a request, and I was like, yeah, we'll do that one next. Finally got my computer back, so I'm back to, I'll have a lesson out this coming week. My computer had an issue with the speakers where they sounded super blown. So I sent it in. I brought it to the Apple store. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to have to send it in to like the repair shop. And it was in like Tennessee or something. They shipped it off. I got it back yesterday. No, 2 days ago. And it came with a letter that said, we were unable to reproduce your issue, so we deleted all your files. You're welcome. So I had to I had backups, thank goodness. So always back up your files because the repair place might just delete them all for you. But it is back, it is working. It probably was just some software issue that they didn't pick up at the Apple store. In any case, I'm feeling excited to get back to posting lessons and doing live streams and all that kind of fun stuff. So, what should we do next week? That's where I was trying to go with that. Ducks on the mill pond, that's a good one. There's a question about, I was thinking that seems kind of like ducks in the mill pond. It's also a little bit like cider. Anyway, got Toon Brain. Thank you, Alan, for the birthday wishes, and Ruth as well. I've been baking a cake this morning. Yeah, probably a little too far away. Cake in the mail usually doesn't hold up too well. Cool, Alan. Definitely send me a photo of the tenors. Yeah, so they really go wild on some tenors back in the day. Vincent Campbell. I don't know that one. It's also not on my website. All right, here we go. Found it. Mark says, what size strings do you have on the bowl back? So I've got either light or extra light gauge. I assume just D'Addario phosphor bronze. I don't really know. I bet I can get some calipers out and at least tell you what the G string is. Here. Excuse me for all the tool noises. Nothing beats a good, I was going to say a good set of calipers. This is like a $10 set of electronic calipers I got off the internet. But boy, do I love electronic calipers. What do we got here? Get on inch decimals. So I've got like a 30, what? A 38 maybe on the, yeah. 38 on the G and probably a 9 on the E. 10 on the E. 38 on G, 10 on the E. Whatever it is going to be like light or extra light. You really don't want to put heavy gauge strings on these things. They're built so lightly. This is the lightest instrument I own probably. They like to fall apart, so don't speed up that process by putting heavier strings on them. Spotted Pony. Oh, that's a good one. Tesh Jig. Let's do... Let me look at my list. It's nice to kind of go back and forth between old time and... I guess that was not old time. I'll look up some of these and see if we've done them. Play along jams. Thank you, Denise, once again, every week for keeping me nice and organized. So, ducks on the mill pond. We did ducks. Episode 79. Cash jig. Hope see the cash jig. The episode 97, so I think probably ducks beats that one out. Spotted Pony. Spotted Pony, never been done. Next week, Spotted Pony, amazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are not good. These are I don't even know what these are called. I can't read the name. They're a no-name brand essentially. Yeah, they're not good, but they do the job for me. I'm not a machinist. I don't build stuff really. I usually just use them to figure out string gauges and the size of small things to some reasonable amount of accuracy. Spotted Pony it is though. All right, so your next assignment is to leave this stream and go over to Matt and Shannon Heaton's Irish session because it's a good time. So go check them out. You can search Shannon Heaton, Heaton, on the internet. Keep playing mandolin all weekend. That's what the weekends are for. Thank you all so much for the super chats. However you choose to donate, really appreciate it. If you want a private lesson, link in the description, lessonface.com/MandoLessons. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. It was a good one, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.